And you're watching ET Now.
Hi there everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Riding the Bull right here on ET Now. Yes, we've got lots lined up on the show. You just got a sneak peek of our market guest as well today, but I just want to talk about the markets as of now. Well, it looks like it's a flat day of trade. We've broken into the green, so it looks like the markets have clawed back from the low point to reclaim the crucial 98.50 markets. Metals and real estate, that's mainly what staged the smart comeback after the dropping yesterday, but consumption and FMCG stocks out of favor. The broader end of the market is definitely in charge today, recovered from yesterday's lows and outperforming the frontliners.
That's correct, but from the broader markets, it's Avenue Supermart. What a superb rally, which is posting almost 16% gains. We analyzed it with Vishal Khandelwal earlier this morning, but it's also about Goldman Sachs, which has initiated coverage with the massive buy rating. Interestingly, discounting 10-year ahead growth ahead for DMart. Of course, adding it to the conviction list, and they see about 50% potential upside in the stock over the next 12 months.
Meantime, Godrej Industries trades with smart gains in a weak market as the agri subsidiary Agrovet is put its price band at 450 to 460 rupees for the IPO. They're going to raise 1160 crore rupees.
Edelweiss Financials in the brokerage space is specifically surging in trade today after the board has approved raising almost 2,000 crore rupees via sale of security, which is the QIP it had been planning for some time, and the stock is gaining very smartly, trading almost at session time.
Meantime, the currency continues to slide, hitting a fresh 6-month low versus the greenback. The persistent dollar buying, coupled with foreign outflows from Indian equities, has pushed the rupee lower for a fourth straight day. All right, those are your top headlines. Markets are looking like they've just about reclaimed lost ground. As we speak, it's 98.70, but it's the broader end of the market, and I really want to identify those Nifty 500 movers, particularly those that are seeing quite a bit of traction. No doubt, Avenue Supermarts is one that holds the limelight, but take a look at India Bulls Ventures, Jindal Stainless, Prestige, as well as something like an Eros International and Jacob that are active in trade. Before we go ahead, it's time to announce the winner of your call. We asked you a question earlier today. We got in some responses. Here was our question: which sector is the best bet and the best buy right now? Well, congratulations. Today, Sumit Verma, your views are being shared on the channel as we speak. He says he's bullish on crude-related stocks because Brent crude has been in a strong uptrend and has increased from $2 to $6.7 a barrel in the last couple of weeks. And that's very positive for the likes of ONGC and Oil India. Sumit Verma, congratulations.
Also on the show now, two special guests, Manas Jaiswal from Lucknow and Amit Jeswani from Stallion Asset Management is here right inside our studios today to discuss the markets and his top stock ideas. But before that, let me just quickly mark the mid-cap index, which is sharply shot up almost. That's Nifty. Pull up the Nifty mid-cap index. You will see that's comfortably in the green, almost 1% in the green, because mid-caps are seeing value. So, Amit, welcome to the show. Welcome to our studios. Let me pose the first question to you on the back of what's happening in the market. Last couple of days were quite difficult for traders. Now possibly some stability coming. What are your broad observations before we talk about your stock ideas?
See, the thing is that whenever market falls 300 points, you'll see targets of minus 300 points coming in. Whenever market rises 300 points, you'll have plus 300 point targets coming in. The thing is that long-term investors should not be bothered much about these moves. These are just normal corrections which are going in an upward bull market, and we're very strongly positive on the market. We have absolutely no doubt that this is a very strong bull market, and this bull market, it might fall 4-5% here and there, but overall the trend is towards the upside. And it's also about stocks and sectors that you select which will create a lot of wealth rather than the index per se.
Amit, I can't wait to get to those stock ideas and delve a little more as to what you're making of the overall valuation and liquidity situation. But I'm just going to switch over to technicals for a moment. Manas Jaiswal, Manas, you know, the broader end of the market has staged quite a commendable comeback from the low point of the day. What do you make of this? And share with us some of your top trading calls.
Yes, we have seen some recovery from lower levels, and this is okay because we have already seen almost 350 points correction in last 3-4 trading sessions. So any recovery can't be ruled out. I think Nifty has a lot of resistance on high levels near to 99.50 and 10K. So it is really difficult to sustain on high levels for Nifty. I think Nifty may face selling pressure near to 9900 or maybe 99.25. So I think if you're short, then you can hold it. You can keep the stop loss above 10K. If you want to take fresh short, then I think you should wait for some more time because Nifty has taken support near to its yesterday's low. So you can create a fresh low, shorts only below 98.15. Stock specific, I would like to recommend two sell stocks. First is REC Limited, where the stock was facing a lot of resistance near to 50-day moving average, and today it fell sharply. It is trading near to 200-day moving average, and looking at the pattern, I think it can break that also. The target would be around 157, so one can go short with the stop loss of 166. And second is M&M, where the trend is very clear. It is clearly making lower tops and lower bottoms. The possibility is high that now it can test 1220. So here one can go short with the stop loss of 1265.
Okay, those are some of the top trading ideas. But Amit, let's talk about, a theme as well that you're fairly bullish on, the overall financialization. And how would you really look into this theme? Because on the one hand, there are a lot of concerns with respect to the overall NPA problem for PSU banks, and that doesn't look like it's likely to abate anytime soon. How are you advising one to position themselves within this space? And if you can, of course, please do share some stocks.
So I'll just give you an insight. What
Sure,
we guys.
sure.
So disruption creates trends, right? So 2014 was a major disruption when these PSU companies started declaring NPAs. So today we have 75% of our banking system, which is PSU banks, and 25% of our banking system, which is private banks. So you have India's credit growth broadly has been 10 to 13% for the longest long-term average. So today you have your PSU banks, which are growing at 3-4%. Now these are 75% of the market share, right? You have the private banks, which are growing at 18 to 20%, but you have the NBFC space, which is growing at 30-40%.
Right.
So we have been long the NBFC space for the last many years, but going forward, we'll be more on the savings side.
Right. Before that, Amit, very quickly, a couple of Anil Ambani flashes are coming right now on the screens. The AGM of Reliance Capital is going on right now, and they are indicating as going into submarine contracts with 40,000 crore. Reliance Infrastructure is gaining 3%. Pull up other Reliance ADAG stocks. Naval is defense and naval is one area of interest for the group, and they have been talking about it. That's the Reliance Infrastructure stock, but Reliance Defense will also come up on your screen, which is a direct beneficiary. That's also they are looking at Japan and other countries for incremental business in infrastructure and defense space. Any view on Reliance ADAG group stocks, Reliance Capital? They are a trader favorite, but Reliance Capital genuinely has made a lot of money for investors, hasn't it?
So we're very bullish on Reliance Capital and Housing Finance. We don't own Reliance Capital or Housing Finance stocks, but Reliance Housing Finance has a 13,000 crore AUM right now. It's expected to be 50,000 crores. That's what the management has guided. The company trades at 3 times book right now. So if you compare it to PNB Housing, that trades at 5 times book and a valuation of 50p. So it's cheaper, and it's now the fastest growing housing finance company. So it may get re-rated after initial volatility, and even the expected price was 140, 145, but it got listed at somewhere around 102, and it's around 110 right now. So trade like HNI guys are very bullish on Reliance Capital, and the AMC IPO is the most important thing. That's where everyone's very bullish.
Right. In fact, my colleague Neha is also here joining us right outside. Neha, what are you picking up on the announcements from the chairman?
Well, let me tell you, it's been an action-packed day at Anil Ambani's group of companies here. In fact, the day started with a very emotional Anil Ambani and Tina Ambani as they saw their elder son Anmol Ambani make a mark with opening remarks at the 31st annual general meeting of Reliance Capital. In fact, as you were just saying, Reliance Capital has been making a foray in financial services in a big way for over a decade now. And the way ahead clearly will be more impetus as far as the insurance business is concerned. In fact, during the AGM, they did indicate that they do hope to carve out a separate business for the health insurance from the current general insurance business. In fact, they indicated that they've already got the go-ahead as far as the first round of approvals from IRDA is concerned. Apart from this, of course, as far as Reliance Infra is concerned, defense is going to be the big power play, the big push that the company needs at this point, that the group needs at this point. In fact, they say they eye an opportunity of over 15 lakh crore in the next 15 years via partnerships in various defense segments. Apart from this, they did indicate that EPC is a segment that looks good for them in the coming years, and they look at order book of about 20 lakh crore. That is the target they have for the next fiscal. Remains to be seen how this pans out, but yes, Reliance Power and Reliance Communication will also be on focus because investors do have concerns about these two verticals, and they do hope the management will address some of these concerns today during the course of the annual general meetings.
Neha, for giving us some of those key takeaways. So clearly, Reliance Naval looking at some fundraising plans and looking to bid for 6 submarine contracts. The ADAG stocks are all spiking up. But just to get right back to our discussion, and Amit, I was talking about some of your top recommendations. Let's start off with what you guys are betting on, and that's a Dilip Bilkon. What exactly do you find attractive from the overall valuation standpoint, given the fact that it's so intrinsically interlinked with the overall economic progress as well? Why does this one stand out?
So I'll just give you a brief about the infrastructure sector first of all. So if you see the top 10 companies in the infrastructure space, the balance sheet of 8 of them is pretty screwed up. So there are only 2 or 3 players who have good balance sheets. Dilip Bilkon became a full-time EPC player in 2012. It was a subcontractor before that. Now this company completes 95% of its projects before time. So if there are a 3-year project, this company completes it in 22 months, 24 months. So it gets your execution right. This company has just sold 1,600 crores of HAM projects. That's the first deal ever on the HAM side to the Chatwal Group. So this company now has a lot of cash flows to bid for future projects. The current market cap is around 8,000 crores. The company has order book of 18,000 crores, and by the end of this year will be somewhere around 25,000 crores. So you have visibility, the highest EBITDA margin in the industry. They get bonuses for completing the project on time. So this is one of the only, when 80% of your sector is struggling and 20% of your sector is doing well, by the 20%, because once the cycle turns, and it is turning right now, these guys will create a lot of wealth.
You seem to have done a lot of work in the infrastructure space. The next pick is also capacity infra from the same space. What's different here, and what kind of wealth creation is possible if one were to hold this stock for 2-3 years?
So I'll tell you, disruption creates trends. The biggest disruption in the last 1 year has been demonetization and RERA, right, for real estate. So today, 20% of Indian real estate in the top 10 cities, it's by large builders like Oberoi, Lodha, Raheja, Prestige. Those are the 20% of the market, and Ram Builder, Sham Builder, those are 80% of the market. After RERA and demonetization, it is impossible for these small builders to do business, because like they don't have any advantage, because if they don't get pre-bookings, the whole system of real estate works by pre-bookings. These guys, these smaller builders are not getting pre-bookings because people don't trust them. Now Capacity is a company, it's a 4-year-old company, and the company has been growing at 80% for the last 4-5 years. They have Deepak Parekh's Paragon private equity invested in it. They have Kotak's Next Gen Venture invested in it. So this is a company where it has an order book of 4,500 crores, revenues of 100 crores. So we believe the profits itself will go by 2-3 times in the next 3-4 years. They have high quality clients like Lodha, Oberoi, Godrej, and we're very bullish on this space where you know, the market share shift will happen from the unorganized builders to the organized builder, and these guys are top quality clients.
Superb. Lovely chatting with you, Amit. Great having you with us in our studios, and you're pretty categorical about your views, selecting, you know, the creme from the crop. Look forward to interacting with you more often.